So T, this is our educational side of our episodes that we put up onto YouTube for you guys to watch, to try and inform you, get you up to date with what's happening in cycling in terms of the terms, the jargon, everything that's going on behind the scenes. We're going to have some interesting behind the scenes things coming for you soon. Let's start off with the first one. We had a question the other day, what are all the hand signals for?
That was a great question. Thanks for your questions. Please keep them coming. You'll see there's various hand signals. So the basic ones that we all know, guys will point left, they'll point right, going left and right. The interesting ones, you'll see the camera come up to a brake, guys getting dropped off the brake. The guy will either do this, or he'll do this, or he'll put a gun under his chin and sort of make as though he's pulling the trigger. Well, that's easy. Finished, gone, exploded, pull the trigger, I'm done. Some of the other interesting ones are a guy will put his hand up, like Froome yesterday when he had a mechanical, puts his hand in there, that's to signal there's a problem. Straight away, the race referee, the commissaire, will call his car up and say, okay, Froome has a problem. What Froome then tries to do, if he can't get hold of them on the radio, he actually tries to point. So yesterday, he was pointing at his back wheel. His mechanic then knows, when I come up there, Froome needs a back wheel. It gives them just that little bit extra time to be ready and to have that back wheel ready for him. Some of the others, the breakaway. You'll see the guys on the front and then they'll suddenly start chatting to each other. They're not saying, oh, it's beautiful scenery, it's a nice day we're having. The guys want to work together. Although they represent different teams when they're in that breakaway, those guys become a brotherhood for that period of time they're there. When you see the guy sitting and he starts going like this, he's upset with some of the guys and he wants everybody to roll through. If everybody works, you've got a chance of staying away from that peloton chasing you. So those are some of the hand signals. I don't know if there are any others that you've seen.
No, there's not really any other hand signals that I can think of right now. Those are the main ones. Those are the ones you'll see the most often. They're the ones that will be shown on camera. That's simply because of the problems that the riders are having.
There were no hand signals in the stage that Port crashed. Maybe they were going too fast, but if somebody had just gone like this and done this with his fingers, that normally says, watch out, there's something in the road, there's debris, there is no road, you're going to run out of road. But those guys were going so fast down there, they're all following each other's wheels, there's no time for a hand signal at that point in time. So the hand signals normally are going to happen pointing out traffic furniture, pointing out, there's a road traffic island coming up. But you're not going to have those in the heat of the sprints, in the heat of a downhill descent. There are some gestures that may get shown at times, but because this is a family show, we maybe leave those. Okay, so the Arriere de peloton. What is the Arriere de peloton?
So Arriere de peloton, literally translated, is just the back of the peloton. So that literally just means that it's the riders that are currently at the back. Those are the guys that are most likely to be dropping off the main peloton, or the guy that's just sitting on the back waiting for his day to come, like Steve Cummings. Hopefully your day comes soon. We keenly watching to see if you're going to make a move. Hope you do one soon. Next one, the other one that we're looking at now is the cutoff. How does a cutoff work? I mean, we heard now that Demar's out. He was outside the time limit. What quantifies being outside the time limit?
Well, I see yesterday they used 12% of the winner's time. So what they will do is they'll go to the finish. The guys finished in 5 hours and 3 minutes. They will take 12% of that. Gives them, I think, equated to about 37 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. It will give them 37 minutes to get to the finish. That Gruppetto Autobus we spoke about, they will start getting that time given back to them. They have swan years at the finish. They have teammates that have finished. They will get that back. They then know, hey, you know what, in these next 30Ks, 40Ks, we've got to ride a little bit harder to get inside that time. So Demar would have known that he had that 37 odd minutes yesterday. Didn't make it. He was off from the beginning of the stage. There was no way in the hell they could pedal as hard as they wanted. 37 minutes wasn't a lot of time for them yesterday.
Definitely not. Now, just to go into the details a bit more of the outside time limit protocol. The autobus, and the reason that sort of like forms, is for a certain kind of strategy that the guys do. Now, what if the autobus of 30, 40 odd riders is outside the time limit? What happens then? Are all those guys eliminated, or then how do they work there?
Very interesting. Strictly speaking, yes, you're outside the limit, you should be eliminated. When it comes to 50 guys in the start bunch, that's already maybe down to about 160 riders due to crashes. That's a huge chunk out of your race.
Yeah.
So they may just say, no, you know what? Yeah, that time limit should have been increased a little bit longer. The elements, they'll come up with some reason to turn a blind eye to that, to let the guys still race. A couple of years ago, 10 odd years ago, Twitter Langkawi, we had Jan Skurts, great Dutch sprinter who actually came over here and raced for one of my teams. He was lying second on the last day of the Tour of Langkawi. We had a big climb. He was outside the time limit. He was in the yellow jersey. He was outside the time limit in a huge gruppetto. They cut him. He was out the race, did not finish. That was, however, the last stage of the race. So the last stage of the race, yes, they can. He wasn't going to be in yellow anymore. Yeah. But very good question. They think that there's safety in numbers. Also, hopefully, with big numbers, there's more guys to do the work.
Yeah.
So it's not 3 or 4 guys who are now having to really turn themselves inside out to get to the finish to avoid that cutoff. The autobus, the gruppetto, hopefully gets across the line. If they do miss it, big numbers like that, a blind eye may be turned.
Okay, so there you have it. You have to stay within the time limits. The bigger groups that get formed, there's a bit of safety in numbers there. The organizer might turn a bit of a blind eye to it, give some sort of weird and wonderful reason as to why they should still be included. Unfortunately, if you're not in that gruppetto, like Dumas was, then there's no way for you to hide and you unfortunately get eliminated.
Okay, you can add this in. So one interesting thing there, H, with the French champion Dumas being eliminated, earlier in the week when we saw Sagan disqualified, everybody on Twitter was saying, yeah, but that's so that the Frenchman has a chance. That's so that the Frenchie can try and win the green jersey. Well, that just proved to be incorrect, didn't it? Because he is the French champion, he didn't make the cutoff, and he's now joining Sagan. Maybe they'll go for a coffee ride.
Can I have a coffee ride in Monaco, watch the tour on TV. Nice way to do it, eh? That's us for the show today. We'll be chatting to you again soon.